Good afternoon, YouTuber subscribers and friends alike. It's Grant coming at you from Miles City, Montana. It's July 8th, I believe, 2020. Middle of coronavirus issues. That's the latest. I've put in a bed frame that's 19.5 inches from the top so that the coolers will go underneath, and I'm starting to hang up my shirts on the other sides, but I'm thinking maybe I'm going to put the coolers in the back underneath and then put my like a makeshift closet up front underneath because it would hang the clothes. I'll show you that in a second. But so far it's not working out to be up there with the clothes again, because the original reason for putting a bed frame up there was so that I didn't have to sleep next to my clothes and everything else. I could sleep basically on top of it. So I'll show you the bed frame and show you the rest of the updates. That's what's going on. Bear with me on this video because I haven't done it in a while. I'm on my newer phone. So that is what I'm talking about. Kind of crappy mess right now. I should have cleaned it up a little. But I have coolers up underneath there. As you can see, they're 18 inches, so this had to be at least 19, so I went 19.5. Covered everything else up with cardboard. I'm going to run hangers, bungee cord and hangers underneath that, and have my shirts underneath after I clean all that mess up. That's what's going on with the van. Eventually, I want to build a partition wall right here, just completely wall this off because I can climb in and out of bed, and I like doing it anyway, climbing in and out of bed this way from this drawer back into the driver's seat. That's what's handy about having a minivan versus having a cargo van. One of the things I do like about this minivan. That, and now I have the AC, the coolant system, and the engine working, so the AC works now, and I have those overhead vents. I can leave this thing running all the time, and so far I've not had a problem with it overheating anymore, which is a good thing. This is a direct line that I ran wires back in behind so that I always have power whether the van's on or not. And it also runs to that power station there that has 3 plugs that's always on, so I can charge everything I want to. My van is a little bit of a mess because I didn't think ahead of time to clean it before I showed you. The other thing I was thinking about doing was plastic dipping the van white. All these windows, pretty much everything from this point back white, everything white, except for the front windows, obviously the mirrors and the lights. Everything else will be white, and I can get away with doing that because in Missoula, Montana, they have mail carrier vans that are minivans like this that have a white wrap on it, so it's legal to do so in Montana. So I'm just gonna cover all the windows in the back white as long as you have the 2 mirrors and you have a windshield, you're good to go. In Montana, they don't care about the rest of it, supposedly. I will find out the hard way with the cops on that one. South Dakota plates, I'm gonna get that switched to Montana because I just bought that the other day and got Montana plates on it, Montana driver's license. So eventually I'm gonna have to switch to Montana driver's license on that, or plates on that one too. I needed a vehicle that I can haul around friends and dogs and cats and everything else without them being on my bed all the time. So I bought that, which is a 5-seater engine with cargo room in the back. 4-wheel drive for the winter time. I'm going to get better tires on it. The thing I found out the other day, I found a Jeep, another Jeep in town. It's about the same thing. It's lifted a little bit with better tires and better suspension. But it has way more work to do for the 4-wheel drive and all that. But I was thinking about buying it for the $700 price tag that they're saying. Well, it dropped it down to $700. It was originally $900. Dropped down to $700, and I might get it because 6-ply tires for that are $750. 10-ply tires, which I'd like to have on that, are like $900. So for the price of a whole nother Jeep, I could get the tires for that and swap them out, which is essentially what I'm going to do because the other Jeep has better tires than this one does. So I'm going to swap them out. That way I have a good working 4-wheel drive pickup Jeep with 10-ply tires on it. And then eventually, these rims and tires will be on the other Jeep, and I can eventually get new tires on it and so on. But the other Jeep that I'm looking at buying is in a lot worse condition. The 4-wheel drive is kind of iffy. The manual transmission on it is kind of on 3rd gear, acting a little goofy, but different outfits run different ways. This is a carburetor. It's an 86 Jeep Cherokee Pioneer, so it's got the carburetor engine. They've done a lot of work on it. I went into the carburetor the other day, and that housing for the carburetor and the filter and all that is all brand new. And then your 4-wheel drive and the manual transmission and the clutch and everything on this are brand new. They've been taken out and replaced. Lots of work has been done to this Jeep, which I'm very happy that I bought it. for $1,100 the other day. They wouldn't come down any on it, but for the work that's in it already, where it counts, the guts of it, I'm happy that I got it. Eventually tint the windows. Like I say, get different set of tires in there. Should be good to go for winter time. And then the other Jeep is exactly the same kind of thing, just lifted a little bit more. I'll show you that on another video if I'm able to buy that Jeep, but it's pointless to show you today until I've bought it. Gonna make a couple payments on it and buy it and take the tires off of it, put it on here. Then I'm gonna take these rims, and as you can see, kind of oldish tires on here. And I can get away with driving on the other Jeep on those tires for the rest of the summer because, like I say, I gotta fix the four-wheel drive on that Jeep anyway, so it'll just be probably two-wheel drive throughout the winter. And this will be a good four-wheel drive outfit to get around with. My friend Travis is using it right now because he doesn't have a vehicle, and he's always with me when we do have a group of people that we go out with anyway, so it just makes more sense to have him using it at the moment. So I have him on the insurance on it, and then I'm using this one to sleep in at night, and the idea of buying that other third Jeep eventually when I get it running again, but it's got bad brakes like this minivan had till I fixed it. But I go through all the work, you know, at least get it plated and brakes on it after I get it paid for. Then I can drive it around, at least during the summertime, during the daytime, and leave this parked someplace at night so that my bedroom stays clean and basically essentially away from people, which is the other reason why I want to put a partition wall in this right here behind the seats, because that way I can totally block this off. I might even go to the extent of pulling the locks out here and making these different locks than everything else. That way anybody else had access to it, it'd only be from the front, so that I know that even if, you know, Travis or somebody else had to drive it to take somebody home or something, they would only have access to the front portion of it, which is the way I want to keep it. That way I keep dogs and cats and bids and kids and people and everything else out of here, because technically it's illegal to bring anybody back here anyway with no seatbelts on or anything while it's in motion. So, but that's my latest. So build a partition wall, paint this, and this one should be good to go. I got new tires on it. I don't know if I showed you guys that. Brand new tires on it. New brakes all the way around. About $400 into the cooling system so I can leave her idling without her overheating. Still out a CV joint on the passenger side, so I can't really take it out of town. You go more than 100 miles, it heats up and gets all shaky and kind of iffy, and really shouldn't be driving it for that long on a CV joint out anyway, or that high rate of speed, taking it out of town. Works great for an in-town minivan bedroom on wheels, which is perfect, and I may not even bother doing the CV joint until way later, but eventually it's going to wear, and I'm going to point where I'm going to have to. But that's pretty much the only issues left with that van. This one, have to tweak the mirrors a little bit to get it to where the mirrors will stay up by themselves. Have to do some maintenance to the ignition switch and some other deals, and the ignition switch on the other Jeep. And then I have to put in some foam tape cover on the back window because it's banging against metal, because there used to be a plasticky thing that goes there that isn't in there, so that's a little tweaks here and there to fix. But the main guts of this Jeep are here, which is what I'm impressed with. Just a new windshield initially, and like I say, swap the tires out and it will be good to go. Might tint the windows, get rid of the weather orange stripe, and I'm gonna spray paint or plastic dip the orange rims back to black so they look better on the other Jeep. And I'm just gonna keep these rims on the other Jeep, because the other Jeep, when I show you it, you'll see it's a slightly better looking pattern rims on it than this, but they still have the same bolt pattern. So when I switch them, I'm just gonna have it be black, and the other Jeep will look better. Probably get rid of that orange stripe. Some of my friends are saying I should paint it blue or some other color. I don't know if I'm going to go solid white or what. My preference would be to try to find a matching yellowish type of white like this, and just go all the way across and bring it back to regular. But then I also have rust and stuff I gotta fix. Put Rust-Oleum on to fix, and I don't know if I can find a cream colored white like this in Rust-Oleum either. So little issues, but the main guts of it are there, which I like. And like I say, you have that vehicle drive around with during the day, hang out with people and everything, and then that way everybody stays out of this. because it's my bedroom on wheels. Not to be a prick about it, but I kind of don't like people messing around where I sleep at night, where I live at since I'm living there. Life's going pretty good with PTI, working there. Not really getting the hours that I want to get at the moment, but I have unemployment that's going through anyway, so I'm good to go for a while till December. And by December, I'm able to get on with more hours, and right now they're still doing a background check. And until they do the background check, I can't drive by myself. I have to go with other drivers, which is a little bit annoying because I'd rather be in a van by myself and drive, listening to my radio and doing whatever I want to do, between having the railroad crew on board or not. But otherwise, we take the railroad crew around for PTI and take them basically off the train to the depot, or from the depot to the trains, because they have to have a way to get to the train. We're basically their private taxi service to take the railroad crews around and do what they need to do. So that job's going pretty good, like I say, because I'm able to buy this Jeep and might buy another Jeep here in another week and a half or 2 weeks worth of pay. Fix them all up. The other Jeep has a bunch of work to it, like I was saying. So at the next end of the month of July is going to be spent on fixing the Jeeps up. Then August, probably middle of August will probably be when I'm done finally fixing all the vehicles and insuring them and plating them and all that stuff and getting everything all up to date like it should be. And then like the middle of August into September, I'm going to be saving those unemployment checks to rent someplace in town for 6 months for the winter time, and probably start living in an apartment October, November, December, January, February, and March for the 6-month lease. I'm not a big fan of doing a 6-month lease, but so far I've not been able to find anything that's not a 6-month lease. So we will see. The woman who works or lives down underneath on this side of that duplex there, it's a 4 apartment duplex. She might move with her boyfriend to North Dakota, and if that's the case, I'll take that downstairs apartment over again. But that's the 25-day apartment that I was in last time, because the landlord who was living there at the time was an old guy and had the TV really loud, and I couldn't sleep with that. Ken, his son now, because his dad passed away. Now that his dad passed away, it went to him, and he lives there, and he doesn't do that, so might be worth, the 6 month or year round, or who knows, but $300 a month, no utilities or nothing, and you only have 3 other neighbors, so I might do that and park on that one side and stay here. And a friend of mine may come down to stay for Glendive if he'll let us be roommates together, and then it would be $150 a month, which is way more affordable, and that's within my friend's price range for being able to come down here, because they're on Section 8 for his stuff, and he can't go above like $200 a month or something for the rent for wherever he's living at, and he wants to move from Glendive, Montana, which is like an hour and a half north, 2 miles city. We're back 2 miles city. So that's kind of the plan, 6 months in an apartment over the winter. Of course, I always have my man cave on wheels, so it's always going to stay that way. I'm not going to reconvert it back unless I happen to find a better man cave on wheels, in which case I'll eventually end up putting the seats back in this, or buying new seats for this from the junkyard probably, and then converting it back. But I don't see doing it, because I actually like living in a minivan better than I did the cargo van. I like the idea of the cargo van better because I don't have to mess with the windows, but I like the idea of a minivan better because of that driver's side door, sliding door. Way easier to get out of the bed on one side and just get right into the driver's door instead of having to crawl through. And then, like I say, I'm going to put a wall through there anyway, so I can't crawl through. And that cup holder and stand right there will go in the middle, in the back corner. It'll fit perfect by that charge station in the corner. Have a wall here, and thinking about mounting a TV here once I securely make this so no one else can get into it. I can have valuables back here like your laptop or smart TV or anything like that, because there are sometimes tweakers in this town, depending on where you park at. Good and bad neighborhoods in this town. There's 8,400 people in Miles City, so there's good and bad, but I'm happy I got the air conditioning going, and I got those 4 vents on the top with a minivan. It's another plus of having a minivan. You can leave it idling with the AC going back here, which makes for an excellent air conditioned vehicle or bedroom on wheels. You can go park someplace, and even if the van is out in the sun, she stays pretty cold for how old she is, just idling with the AC on, which I would not have in a cargo van. So it's pluses and minuses. I'd like to have everything completely sealed up, but I was thinking with the white on white and just make everything white all the way through. It will have paint on the outside, it'll have cardboard and duct tape on the inside. And between all that, I don't think anybody can see into it finally. Not like it's a big deal if they did see into it. I just don't want them to. For my own privacy, so I can change back here and whatnot, and I have not have anybody have issues with it. I got 17 calls from to the local police department about me in Miles City in that first couple weeks I was here, and that old Kia Ignition, I don't know if you can see it or not, that old style key. A cop gave that to me because I made 17 calls in a week, which is the highest number of calls they ever had for one person in 1 week. So they essentially gave me the keys to the city, he called it, because I made a record. They finally, the police department locally here finally decided to start leaving me alone if it's just an issue about me living in my van, because people get worried or concerned about me living in my van because they see me laying here on the bed with the door open when I have everything off and the door open, which is less and less now because I have the AC running. But I used to have to do it all the time because, of course, I didn't have an air conditioner that was going because the van engine was overheating. Now that we're past that problem, I can, technically speaking, hide back here so they can't see me, so that the nosy Nancy's in the houses and stuff like that don't see me out here hanging around. And I'll probably get a call in just for taking this video for you guys, because they'll think it's weird that a guy's walking around in his van snooping the property or whatever on a video of his phone. Somebody will probably call me in for that. But the minute that they see a bed in the van, it's unusual to them because they don't live in a van. Then they call it in and think that I need some kind of help or something, that I'm homeless, so to speak, as the homeless stigma goes, because they don't understand the lifestyle. I was just talking to a woman the other day they've been doing fireworks because of 4th of July. It's now July 6th or 7th or 8th or something like that, 2 or 3 days after 4th of July. And she's still having what is now illegal fireworks going off next to her house, and she can't work very well during the day because she can't sleep at night because they're still going boom, 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 boom all night long. And I got online and told her about my living in a van. She laughed at me, and I said, well, at least with my van, I could turn the key, drive off to the Hathaway exit, which is half a mile, not half a mile, but like not 30 miles, it'd be like 15 miles south of town, I think it is, out in the middle of nowhere, and sleep, and I don't have that neighbor's problem, you know, and I don't pay rent on top of it. The only thing I pay is the gas to go out there to do it. And then she stopped laughing, as they say, because when the people finally realize the reason for my doing so, you know, there's lots of different positives about doing this life, as long as you're willing to put up with a little bit of less creature comfort in the fact that unless you have it's not taking the time to fix the engine and the AC and everything, so you have air conditioning, you have to deal with however hot or however cold it is. But now that I have that fixed, I have my little air conditioned man cave on wheels, and there's nothing better. Anyway, that's the latest of the comments. I will give you another video if I buy that other Jeep. Maybe video doing some of taking the tires off the one Jeep and putting it on the other, vice versa, and fixing the brakes and stuff like that, and show you that if and when I buy the other one. But I just thought I'd show you that for now. And then I'm getting by pretty good. Knock on wood if I had, well, just a second. Got plywood. There. This is superstition goes. That everything will keep going well. Like and subscribe, leave comments, and we'll catch you on the flip. Peace.